Point the most advanced supercomputers and elite codebreakers at historical ciphers, and they will eventually crack the code. But one specific, unbroken historical text stops modern technology dead in its tracks. Designated officially as MS-408, the Voynich Manuscript is a 240-page illustrated codex. Across its vellum pages, a scribe drafted over 38,000 words in a flowing, highly structured alphabet that resembles no recorded human writing system. The layout resembles a bizarre medieval encyclopedia. The text is intimately intertwined with bewildering illustrations, including complex astronomical charts and chimerical plants assembled from leaves and roots that do not exist in the natural world. The greatest cryptographers of the 20th century, including the exact same intelligence officers who cracked Axis ciphers during World War II, dedicated decades of their lives to deciphering this book. They found zero solutions. It is a historiographical anomaly. We are looking at a perfectly preserved, highly structured communication system that successfully communicates absolutely nothing to the modern observer. Many observers immediately assume the book is a modern forgery. Skeptics long believed it was a 20th century scam cooked up by Wilfrid Voynich, the antique dealer who acquired the codex in 1912 to swindle wealthy collectors. In 2009, researchers at the University of Arizona subjected the vellum pages to exhaustive radiocarbon dating. The results, combined with chemical analysis of the low-iron iron gall ink, placed the materials definitively between the years 1404 and 1438. Physical science rules out a modern hoax. The object is a genuine artifact of the 15th century Italian Renaissance, which means the text itself must be taken seriously. To determine if the text is random gibberish or a rule-based linguistic framework, linguists analyze the internal statistical behavior of the symbols. This chart plots the frequency of words in a text against their rank order. In all natural human languages, this follows a mathematical rule known as Zipf's law. The Voynich's word frequencies snap into place along this distribution perfectly. This is a chart showing second-order conditional entropy, a mathematical metric that measures how predictably one character follows the next. Natural European languages typically measure above 3.0 bits per character. Voynich's registers at a highly constrained 2.0 to 2.22 bits. Because of that low entropy, Voynich words are highly predictable. Instead of the fluid morphology found in natural languages, the words are constructed on a rigid template. Certain characters only ever appear in strict slots, as prefixes, midfixes, or suffixes. The manuscript mathematically mimics the broad behaviors of human language while violating the structural flexibility required for natural speech. Digital paleography has identified 5 distinct scribal hands working on the codex collaboratively, disproving the theory that this was the work of a lone genius. By utilizing frequency analysis, cryptographers discovered that the manuscript is split into 2 statistically distinct dialects, which they designated Language A and Language B. These 2 languages map perfectly onto the different handwriting styles. All 5 scribes wrote out their respective sections without making a single eraser or correction across the entire document. Voynich's was a shared, standardized communicative framework. It was a system fluent to a specific community of people, ruling out the idea of an isolated, meaningless delusion. Information theorists have proven that Voynich words cluster together by topic and then fade away, a statistical property called burstiness that only occurs in real, content-bearing books. This suggests the text is not a meaningless hoax generated by a random template. Modern artificial intelligence universally fails to decode the text because neural networks possess an inherent bias to force modern syntax patterns onto data. Without a historical baseline, the algorithms hallucinate coherent-sounding translations out of noise. We know that 15th century scholars possessed the physical tools to encrypt a message this complex. A proof of concept known as the Naibbe cipher demonstrates that by using basic dice and substitution tables, a medieval scribe could manually generate ciphertext with these exact statistical anomalies. While a 15th century scholar could manually produce this encrypted text, modern computational decryption cannot break it. Algorithms cannot operate in an absolute cultural vacuum. If we move past the mathematical mechanics of the script, we have to look at motive. What knowledge was value of to warrant such labor-intensive encryption? The most bizarre section of the manuscript features dense prose meticulously contoured around surreal biological illustrations. Miniature nude figures are depicted wading through elaborate networks of organic-looking tubes and emerald-colored fluids. Medical historians point to the aggressive censorship of late medieval gynecology, referred to at the time as women's secrets. 15th-century male physicians restricted reproductive knowledge, explicitly advocating for the use of secret letters to hide recipes for contraception from commoners. The manuscript's extreme encryption was likely a necessary defense mechanism. It was designed to protect localized, highly censored medical knowledge from hostile authorities. Cryptography relies on context. Because the manuscript's illustrations depict chimerical, stylized plants rather than identifiable flora, cryptographers cannot use the images as a crypt to guess the adjacent nouns. The symbols are decoupled from any verifiable real-world referent. The manuscript is an orphaned system of knowledge. It was built on a localized vernacular, or personal shorthand, that died alongside the 5 scribes who wrote it. The Voynich Manuscript remains an unreadable analog fortress, a reminder that raw computing power cannot manufacture missing human context.